Welcome everyone to Paradigm. I'm your host Mina Vucic, and today we have an exciting episode lined up for you. Joining us is the one and only Jason Bassili, the dynamic CEO of Bassili Co. and a passionate salmon expert. This family-owned business, founded by his father, Joe Bassili, is renowned for its executive smoked salmon supplied to top chefs, restaurants, and airlines across the region. With a legacy rooted in tradition and craftsmanship, Bassili Co. is now on a path to expand into the EU markets. And I'm very excited for this episode. And thank you so much, Jason, for coming over to Paradigm.
Look, thanks for kind of having me in.
How are you doing today? Tell me.
Good, very good. I'm getting ready for an American trip.
Okay.
So we have kind of pivoted from the European entry into a USA entry now.
Right. That sounds exciting.
Yeah, I spent many years kind of trying to crack the kind of EU side, which we thought we'd done in 2014. But with some kind of political shift.
Yeah, I wanted
there.
to say youth facing in their own issues now.
Yeah, so maybe it was a godsend that we had to kind of pivot to the US. But we're available now in the USA. We have a partner there that we're distributing with.
Right.
So I'm flying back out there on Friday.
Okay, that sounds cool.
Yeah.
Listen, I really just wanted to start off this podcast and be like, guys, we have a salmon expert in the house. So obviously our conversation today will revolve mostly around salmon.
As it usually does with me.
Yes, there's so many, I think, misconceptions about salmon. So many,
100%.
facts we want to find out from you, clear the air a little bit.
Nice.
So yeah, but to kick off, I just wanted to kind of take you all the way back in time, looking back at your childhood.
Okay.
Who was that young Jason growing up? Obviously next to such a hardworking father who was already back then, right, in the salmon industry,
100%.
as I understood. So tell me a little bit about yourself, as a kid.
Okay, well, I was brought up in the salmon world because my father started the kind of salmon in the business the year that I was born. So it was probably kind of because of me we got into the salmon business because he had a son. He had to do something.
You were born and you were like, okay, this guy motivates me to work in salmon.
What are we going to do? So he was actually trading salmon from Paris into Beirut at the time when in the mid 80s. That is when I was born. And then they had imposed a kind of customs tax on the import of smoked salmon.
Okay.
So then he had to go and learn how to smoke salmon in Scotland. So yeah, to go back as a kid, it's been ever since I was born that the business has been growing. And I used to spend all my summer holidays kind of with my father. 'Cause I was living in Yorkshire, kind of with my mother. But every July until end of August, I go spend 6 weeks in Beirut.
Okay.
And he'd be working. So I go with him to the smokehouse, where he'd be making smoked salmon, obviously. And I'd want to help out. Like even at the age of 4 years old, I'd be doing the kind of vacuum machine where you put the salmon in the vacuum and you seal it shut.
Yes.
So
you always found it cool. You found
it was more of just a thing that we do. It's like some kids go throw a ball with their father. I go make smoked salmon with my father.
Right. So would you say that ever since you were a child and you were growing up, you knew that this is the business you want to do in the future? Was this always kind of in your head that you want to continue this legacy?
Well, I never thought that it'd be something that I would kind of choose to do because it's what I had always done. Like it's when you have a kind of family business, either you look it is in your blood or it's not. Either.
And early on, you decide.
Yeah, like it's not like a decision that you just say, okay, today I'm going to join the kind of family business. But when I was 18. I moved from Yorkshire to Beirut in the full time, which was not so easy because I don't speak Arabic. So
Right.
I gone there to go learn like the kind of business side of smoking salmon, and also to join a kind of university in a foreign country and not speaking the language is not so easy. So I must have been kind of committed then to kind of joining the business,
But listen, whenever we're placed with challenges and whenever we're placed with these adaptation phases, I feel like that's where we grow, mature, learn.
100%. You in the grow. You kind of grow quickly when you have to
100%.
think about who are these people? What am I doing? Like, especially
Exactly.
like there was wars going on. I was evacuated twice.
Oh my God.
So I had a lot of excuses to where I could have got out of the family business. I was evacuated at 19 and again at 21.
Right.
But yeah, they came back. I moved to Dubai where we'd opened a restaurant because our family business was not just salmon. It was also, well, it is also restaurants. So we have always had restaurants.
I mean, it makes sense that you also entered that hospitality sector, right? It just
Yeah.
kind of naturally was the next step, I'm guessing.
So when I was a kid, it used to be smoked salmon factory in the daytime, in the morning.
Okay.
My father would drop me off at the beach in the afternoon, and then we go to the restaurant at night, which was called the Pirat.
Okay, nice.
So yeah, there were kind of long days,
What would you say were the core values that your father kind of implemented in the company?
Well, definitely hard work, like you said, is like the number one. But like there's no such thing as hours. There's like getting it done. So
Okay.
that's definitely something that I learned at a young age. So you just need to try and get things done.
Right.
You need to get them done quickly because more things keep again, they kind of coming.
Right.
We don't see things as problems. We just things like more things keep coming.
Yeah. How do I solve that? How do I move on?
So how I solve it quickly to move on to the next, because we don't have a huge team. It's like a family, Especially back then, it was
you should
it was
keep
my father, my
your
uncle.
trusted circle as well in these
100%.
things. Yeah.
100%.
I will get to that later on as well. I mean, how difficult, right, is it to actually have a family business and be surrounded by your family all the time?
Yeah,
And have those professional disputes.
If you want to get into it as like a therapy session, look, I definitely need it.
Fully. All right, we'll get into that a bit later. But tell me now, fast forward, to Basilico today. What is it? How have things developed? Just tell me a little bit about it.
So in the Basilico now, we have our kind of core business, which is the smokehouse where we make smoked salmon. The development of
where is that?
That's in Dubai.
In Dubai, okay.
And the family smokehouse, which the first one was started in Beirut in 1992, that's still in operation, but it's run by my uncle and my cousin.
Okay.
But that's got nothing to do with the business the we have here.
Okay.
Still, we are together. It's a huge family of salmon smokers. But here it's me, my father. The brand is called Le Fumoir by Joe Bassili.
Okay.
We also have different brands like FSH, which is available in supermarkets.
That's how you pronounce it then. Say that again.
Le Fumoir.
Le Fumoir.
Le Fumoir by Joe Bassili. I also don't speak French.
You don't speak French,
so
me
I'm the worst
neither.
Lebanese person, so...
Thank God you
barely speak English.
Thank God you announced it before I did, because my next question was about it, but I would have pronounced it much differently.
So it used to be called Salmontini, which we
That's easier.
Which we have separated from now because we're no longer part of that restaurant group.
Okay.
So I removed the word Salmontini. So now it's called Le Fumoir by Joe Bassili.
Okay.
And then we have other brands like FSH, the sound FSH.
Okay.
Which also means family smokehouse. If you look at the letters, FSH.
And is like smoking.
And it's fish without the fuss. So it's.
You've really thought this through.
Yeah, I go quite deep into branding and marketing,
and I like the fact that you kept your father's name and the name of the company as well. I think that
I put it on the front, so
it gives a personal touch to it.
Yeah, because he's the man behind the whole thing, So I had to convince him. He didn't want it to be done in the first place.
He must be very humble.
So now he can't go anywhere.
Right.
So Le Fumoir by Joe Bassili is on the logo. So it's always good to know that there's a man behind the kind of product, right? So that's our main thing. And just to give you an idea about how much it's grown, we started off in Beirut with 1 box a week, which is like 23 kilos. That's just getting started,
Okay.
To 10 box and to 20 box. Now we're at like 1,600 box, which is like almost 40 tons a week.
40 tons of salmon a week.
Yeah. So now I've already sent.
That's a lot of salmon, Jason.
I've already sent 20 tons to the States. I'm producing the next the 20 tons now. So we are growing. I'm like I said, I'm flying out to the States.
Okay.
On Friday, I go to Dallas and Chicago and Miami, and I'm pushing the sales there. It's a huge market. It's the largest market
Right.
for smoked
And
salmon.
how do the logistics work? I mean, you need to first vacuumize it, and then you place it on
Yeah,
ice, and then
so
you transport it by ships or by planes,
yeah,
or
so I fly in the fish from Norway.
okay,
We're using a Norwegian product there.
okay,
It comes to Dubai. We do all the filleting by hand, salting, drying, smoking for 18 hours,
okay,
let it rest, and then we process it, vacuum it, and then we blast freezing it, and we're sending it off to the States because they want it frozen in America anyway.
okay,
Uh, the most of the hotels, they want the product to be frozen.
okay. Just
So
for safety precautions, I'm guessing.
yeah, and like they don't have any waste, and they can buy bulk. Look, America's like,
Very much into that.
let's buy a lot. So it goes by boat.
Mm-hmm.
Takes 2 weeks. It takes 3 weeks. But the rate that it's going, it's like it's landing, and within a week or two, it's finished. It's gone. They want more and more and more.
I mean, good for you.
So this is what my main focus is now.
Okay.
So I'm spending the next 3 weeks in the States. I come back for a month, and then I go back to Boston, New York, Chicago, Washington.
I would say you change your time zones quite often then.
Yeah, it's something I struggle with, honestly.
I can imagine.
Still trying to work that one out. It took me 10 days to lose the jet lag, and I'm already going back.
You know how they say the amount of hours is the amount of days you need actually to completely.
Yeah, especially there. I wasn't
Transfer.
sleeping either, so I was trying to keep the Dubai business going, and
Because you also have the meetings.
I was doing trainings, and I did 34 sales calls, like from Four Seasons, Ritz-Carlton,
Incredible.
SLS, all these big chains. I did 34 of those in 12 days. So you can imagine it's including the week.
Not easy to be a CEO,
So yeah,
guys.
yeah. So we don't really have a C-suite in Basilico. There's only me and my father. So there's no CFO, CMO, COO. There's none of that. It's just
I mean, maybe that has its advantages.
yeah, it has its advantages. But we have very strong teams. So inside of the factory, the operation team is strong. The quality team is strong. My admin team is strong.
Right.
And then the other side of the business, going back to the question, is we own restaurants. So we have some kind of casual dining stuff, like we have Sal's Sushi Bar in Depeshica, and we have Casa della Pasta, which is like a kind of casual pasta restaurant. We have Sal's Burger, in the kitchen, which is doing really, really well. We have Sal's Bistro in Jumeirah Islands, which is like a French bistro. And then we have our latest baby, which is called Three Cuts, which is a huge steakhouse.
I've heard about Three Cuts.
Yeah, it's a pretty big steakhouse.
Yeah.
It's 300 seats almost. We're on the rooftop of Nakhil Mall. It's like an old school
Beautiful
steakhouse.
place.
Yeah, it's surrounded by seafood also. So it's called Three Cuts because it's based on the three main cuts of meat. So we're not overcomplicating the menu. It's just one page, and then it's surrounded by obviously smoked salmon,
Yeah.
oysters, kind of seafood towers.
Right.
We have a lot of nice things, and then we've our kind of the core values there are community, because we want to have a place where
Of course.
we bring because it's a family business, but like all our ambassadors are kind of family too. We're like super close with most of our customers. And food obviously has to be top kind of quality on everything. And then music. So we have an entertainment part. There's a speakeasy with a DJ and
Amazing.
stuff like that. So it's a lot of fun. It's our new kind of head office.
How do you keep juggling all these things though? It's a lot.
Yes, it's a lot of driving around.
Yeah.
We do most of the meetings now in like the restaurants. We go to the factory every day, maintain the quality.
You need to take me to the factory. I really want to see it.
Anytime. It's so cool.
It'd be great to do a tour there.
It'd be a big pleasure.
Amazing.
It's nice to go see how kind of how much work goes into this little packet of smoked salmon that
Exactly.
you put on your avocado toast in the
Exactly.
morning.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
tell me, what makes a good salmon?
A good smoked salmon.
Yes.
Well, time plays a lot of it. Sourcing the right product obviously is a huge part. We only buy from sustainable farms from Norway and Scotland. Now mainly from Norway because the supply is steady. We only buy from sustainable farms, which means that they are AAA graded from the kind of animal welfare point of view, from the feed, that they have in the quality of the end product. So that plays a huge role. And then we do most of the things by hand. So by filleting log by hand, we don't bruise the meat.
Okay.
We do dry salting, so we're trying to remove as much water from the product as possible. Like with any product, like with meat, if you dry aging, it's got more flavor. So we're removing as much water as possible by salting.
And that's important for it to be well smoked.
Yeah, so it's cured, so it's safe.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not nice to talk about bacteria, but when you talk about food, you need to be managing bacteria. So by removing the water, you got less chance
Of it being contaminated.
yeah, so very dry product, and then we smoke it and dry it for another 18 hours in the smoker, so it's nice and subtle. It's not an aggressive smoke. So if you take your time, like slow cooking, it's not you don't have this harsh crust.
Right.
And then we let it rest for 2 days, which no one else does anymore. So it absorbs the
Because
flavor.
they're all about timing and making it as
Yeah.
quick as possible and being
Everyone else is like
productive
want to do it as fast as possible, cheap as possible. They don't want to lose any water because they lose weight if they lose
okay.
water. So the
That's an
less you
interesting
dry,
hack.
the more weight they have, so the more product that they get to sell by the kilo. And then we slice by hand. We take out the bones by hand, and then we have a hand sliced product, which is our star, and then a machine sliced product to try and get enough volume out the right price.
Okay.
But I think the biggest factor is time. Is taking your time with it
Okay.
and getting
And
all
letting it
those
rest,
steps. Getting all those steps in there.
Just
Not
like
cutting
when you
corners.
fry the steak and then you'll wait 2-3 minutes for it
Exactly. If you want to cook
chill.
a steak and eat it straight away, it's not
won't
going to
be
be
the
as good
same.
as if you rested it for, like you said earlier, the same amount of.
Right.
If you cook it for 10 minutes, you rest it for 10 minutes. That's same like
Okay, I
jet lag,
see.
I guess.
Yeah, right. Now tell me, differences between wild caught salmon and then there's the farm salmon, right? There's
Yeah.
probably differences between the two if you can run us through
So
that.
this is the thing I get hit with most on Instagram.
Okay.
I get
We've had a lot of questions come through on this as well. Yeah.
this is probably a good the good platform for me to explain my point of view about this, instead of me having to tell every individual.
DM them back.
Yeah, which I do. By the way,
Aw.
it takes a lot of my time, but
Aw.
like I definitely do it.
He's dedicated to his fans.
Yeah, and I'm a bit more kind of passionate on the DMs because I can, give some stick. But the difference between wild salmon and farm salmon, okay, and the wild salmon is obviously it's in the ocean. You don't know where it is, what is the state of the water that it's living in. You don't know what it's eating. Unfortunately, the oceans are not as full of like fish as they used to be. So in the wild salmon, they hunt crabs and shrimps and langoustines, and these kind of wild kind of crustaceans. They're not as readily available as what they used to be. So now the salmon have to go and hunt for other things. Now we all know about microplastics and polluted waters and things like that. So we don't know what it's eating, first of all. Second of all, when it's coming down to be caught, it can only be caught in Alaska. I think it's June and July, because that's when it's migrating back
Okay.
to the river, where they're supposed to go up and spawn, drop their eggs, and then they come back down. Now the problem is when you're eating wild caught salmon, you're stopping the migration of the salmon to go back up and spawn, right?
You're
So
stopping it from reproducing, basically.
you're stopping it from reproducing, and they're catching huge amounts of fish, like millions and millions of fish. It stops the wildlife, like the bears, the wolves, the birds,
The whole food
the whole
chain.
food chain from that basin all the way up, because you want to eat wild salmon because you think it's better for you. It's not got any consistency. You don't know where it's lived. Its food source is not available anymore, and you don't know what kind of diseases it has because it's never been monitored by a vet. Whereas farm salmon, it's grown in clean, protected waters where there's no industry, there's no boats allowed to be moving around, there's no oil tankers.
Right.
The food is made from offcuts of crustacean like shrimp shells and crab shells.
What biologically they're supposed to be eating.
Yes, which gives it its pigmentation.
All right.
So there's the colorant aspect that people say farm salmon has colorant. They don't have like M&M cut look, yeah, and the colorant.
I've heard that one a lot.
Yeah, the pigmentation comes from the crustacean, like a flamingo. It's pink because of what it eats.
Okay.
Okay, so the salmon is eating offcuts from this rejected seafood from crab shells and shrimps heads, and kind of vegetable offcuts which are normally thrown away.
Okay.
So it's a sustainable product, first of all, because it's using waste food, right? Which from the shells and the heads and the offcuts. And second of all, you feed a salmon 950 grams of the fish feed, and it produces for you 1 kilo of protein.
Oh, wow.
So it's a sustainable product.
And where does the reproduction happen of the salmon there?
So it's done in clear waters in hatcheries. So they take, when there's something called brood fish, when they're full of eggs, they release their eggs. These eggs are taken and they're put in hatcheries, which is imitating the fresh water. Okay.
Okay, so they know more or less that this is similar to that river that they usually.
And it's 100% clean water, and you have 100, like not 100% kind of the success rate, but you can grow huge amounts of salmon without the fish having to find its way down a river and then being worried to being caught by more boats and people fishing, and it bashes itself down the rocks as it goes out,
Yeah.
and as it goes up the kind of up the river, it's also fighting through waterfalls, and it's not something that you want to eat,
Right.
in
Right.
my opinion.
But then comes the certifications, obviously, in the labels, which is something that's super important for us as consumers,
Yes,
right?
this is
we
mega.
look at the packaging. When it comes to the packaging, what's important? What sort of labels should I be aware of that, just have to be there and that say, okay, this salmon is qualified?
So, first of all, and I want everyone to do this when they're buying fish, the packaging needs to state the origin. So if you're looking at smoked salmon and it doesn't say the origin,
Where the farm is, you mean?
which country did this product come from?
Okay.
Is it Norwegian? If it's from Scotland, is it from Chile? What's the species of the fish? Like the ingredients, okay? Some brands just say salmon, but you don't know where that fish has come from. You don't know what kind of salmon. So look at the packs. You see my packs, they always say Norwegian salmon or Scottish salmon, Atlantic salmon. Look at some of the other packs on the shelf. It doesn't say where the product came from. So what does that mean? It means he's buying from wherever he can find the cheapest product, and it's not maybe the best for you,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Why else would you not state
Yeah.
what the origin is unless
Yeah.
you're changing it all the time,
Yeah, exactly.
right? First of all. Then we are in the BRC certified, so it's the highest standard of
BRC.
BRC, the British Retail Consortium, I think it stands for,
Okay.
which is every multinational, like for example, like Emirates Airlines, they require us to have it. Carrefour, they require us to have it. So that makes us responsible to monitor our log suppliers, that they have to provide all of the certifications from the veterinarians, for the animal welfare, for all the documentations that make sure that this product, the origin of the fish, is as it should be, okay? As well as the hygiene practices inside of our kind of facility. So BRC should be there. The minimum requirement of the UAE is HACCP, which is wash your hands. And so if you're only seeing HACCP on a product, it's not been
Okay,
processed the
interesting.
best. But BRC is it's the top level.
Okay, so we have to make sure it's there.
It's the modern ISO 9000 and things, which are just they're showing you that you've done the product the same way, and there's a 99% it's done the same way. But
Okay.
what way?
Yeah, exactly.
It
What
needs
is
to be
that
done.
way?
It needs
Oh,
to
you
be
did
done.
speak about the color. So I want to ask you, what
Yes.
are those most common misconceptions that people have about salmon?
So there's the people use colorant, they paint the fish orange. Like, come on, you think people are going to paint something orange? So I know where it comes from, because when people are buying bad salmon and they leave it on the plate, they feel like this orangey water comes out,
Okay.
right? But that's because they've bought
A salmon
a
full of
very
liquid?
bad quality smoked salmon. You buy my product, it doesn't happen, right? If you buy any one of my brands, it doesn't happen.
It's the liquid that you mentioned that
The
people don't wait
liquid,
for it to
yes,
come
it's
out. Okay.
the liquid. So normally they're buying the producers of those kind of products. They're buying a frozen product, they're defrosting it, not removing log the water. They're salting it very quickly. They're smoking it quickly and sending it out full of water. So when you get it on your plate,
It's
fuck,
sloppy
it
and
smells. It's sloppy. There's stuff coming out. Let me squeeze lemon on it. Let me hide all the flavors. Like, just don't buy bad quality salmon.
just don't buy it, guys.
Yeah.
It's very simple.
Yeah, just don't buy bad quality smoked salmon. It's fish at the end of the day.
Literally.
You should always spend that little bit more. And when you're dealing with seafood, it's super important that you're getting good quality stuff.
101%. 101%.
It's not like you're buying rice,
Right.
There's a big difference.
Right. But would you say that, that's part of that challenge, to be patient, to wait
It costs
those
a lot of money,
hours
and like it costs a lot of money, especially with
I can imagine.
kind of when you're doing huge volumes, like what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're doing 40 tons a week. Like we're gonna be up to like 50, 60 tons now. Like with as the American market grows, it's going to be bigger and bigger and bigger. So it's hard to produce and take your time. Okay, but everyone that's become industrial and started making products, like I explained this, because they try to kind of cut corners. We don't wanna do
Everybody's
that.
doing it in all sorts of businesses.
Yeah, this is why we're we're a standout kind of company, because we stick to the quality, even though our volumes keep going up and up and up. Like now, we just expanded our factory. We took over the warehouse next door, and we've expanded into it.
Okay, great.
So we've basically doubled the size of the factory.
Okay,
But
that's
the
great.
process is the same. We're not trying to cut corners, so everything is the same. It's just twice the size.
Great. Would you ever, launch or invest in your own, let's say, salmon farm?
So salmon farming, it's a multi-billion-dollar investment. First of all, if you want
Okay.
to buy a salmon farm, there's not many of them that are still family-owned. They're all on the stock exchange. Well, not all, but most of
Multi-billion-dollar investment.
most of them are on the Norwegian stock exchange.
Okay.
They have something called Nasdaq also, which is which kind of follows the price of salmon, and people can buy securities on it, and it's pretty huge.
No way.
But I go visit the farms in Norway, and
like oil is here, salmon is for Norwegians, basically.
yeah, it's huge. It's huge business.
Incredible.
Like I think they do hundreds and hundreds of thousands of tons. Like it's a mammoth number of fish that they
Right.
produce. And I would never need that amount of fish. Well, maybe one day, I don't know.
Yes.
I'm still
Inshallah.
38, so maybe let's see how far we can
Yeah.
go. But we have partners that we've been working with for a while now,
Okay.
and we trust we can't do everything, but we trust those guys to do what they do better
Right.
and better and better year after look after year, and they really the top of the game, the people that we
Alright.
buy from.
So you would never want to think about entering that industry. It's keeping it narrow at this
Maybe
moment.
strategic partnerships, but like I buy from a lot of different farms.
Right.
So, if you sign a strategic partnership with kind of one farm, you're stuck with those guys. What if they have a problem with if they don't have the supply, if the prices change, because the price of salmon changes
Where it's
30,
unpredictable.
40%
yeah.
a week.
Oh,
It goes
wow.
like this, like
30-40% a week.
yeah, and I have to hold on to that roller coaster,
Oh my
because
God.
you pay the same price for your smoked salmon in the supermarket every week. It's the same
Right.
price, but my supply changes by 30, 40, 40%.
What influences that, in your opinion?
The supply, So for example, and again, the demand like any other business. So for example, now it's just after Christmas, where everyone's had smoked salmon uh,
Tables.
on their table. So now the farmers have removed so much fish from the nets. Now there's not a lot of fish there, but the demand's still high, but the supply is low.
Even if you have a salmon farm and you know exactly the
Yeah,
quantity.
because you want to you don't want to tell your customers, no, I'm not going to give you fish at Christmas, when his demand is so high.
Okay.
So that demands, it's not like before. Demand of smoked salmon is high all the time, but it's on breakfast tables now, not only on Christmas tables.
Right.
So it used to be a dish that is served at Christmas and at Easter, and then little bits and bobs. Now it's every day.
Right.
Every cafe, every hotel has it on the breakfast. Every restaurant has a smoked salmon salad. Every room service has a, like it's crazy. We do
Do you have like a specific country that consumes salmon and that's like your top client?
so this gonna be America,
Okay.
obviously now, like it's huge.
I can
But
see Americans eating
but
smoked
yeah,
salmon. Yeah.
here we have 85% market share of retail.
Oh wow.
So supermarkets.
Okay.
So we have our brands in all the major retailers. So yeah, it's a huge. We have a big dominance here.
Right. Right.
But we hope we don't want to replicate that in kind of every country.
Mm-hmm.
But if we're gonna take small portions, different countries. I know Germany, they're huge in smoked salmon, and they import 90% of their yen kind of consumption.
Right. How about Asia? I mean, they do consume a lot of
Asia, I'm
fish.
looking at Asia. So again, once I'm finished with the States, I'm gonna go look at Singapore and Indonesia and Hong Kong.
Just got back from Indonesia.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do consume a lot of fish.
Where were you? You in Bali?
We've done the entire tour.
Okay.
Yogyakarta, Komodo, Flores,
Okay.
Bali. It was
Nice.
beautiful.
Yeah. So
was beautiful.
yeah, it's big there also.
And it's a
Yeah.
huge population. I don't think we understand that there's like 200 and
Yeah.
50, 60 million people?
I don't know, but there's a lot of
In
people.
Indonesia, there's a lot of people.
A lot of people. Especially in Bali, there's a lot of smoked salmon.
Exactly.
But every hotel has. So whenever there's a
Hotel,
there's a
you
Ritz
can-
Carlton or a Marriott or an Accor look hotel, they have smoked salmon. So
Right.
I want to be, so when we're talking about a kind of family business, right? So when I joined, I was doing business studies, right? The easiest thing, but like, look to kind of get the basics about kind of look at the business. So
I've done it in my GCSEs.
yeah. So I did it in GCSEs. I did AVC or whatever it's called,
Okay.
and I said that my mission statement is to make sure that our salmon is available all over the world. I don't care if you buy it or don't buy it, but I just need to make sure that it's available.
It's in the supermarket, it's there.
Or not even in the supermarket, that it's available in the country.
Okay.
So the reason being, our barrier has always been people stopping us from entering into that country because our product is what most people say is better than what is currently available
In there. Okay.
in their country. So we've always had this barrier. So I'm slowly breaking down the barriers. Now we're in America. It proves that if we're available in America, why we can't be available in Europe?
Right. Right.
Why I have to skip over you, Europe?
Right. Right. Well,
You know?
we wish you the best of luck.
Yeah, thank
and
you.
I'm looking forward to seeing what's next for you.
Yeah.
Now,
Thank you.
tell me, salmon is obviously a very traditional, let's say, industry in a way, it's like smoking salmon, right?
Yeah.
What advice would you give to all those aspiring entrepreneurs that would like to enter the food and beverage sector, especially in such a traditional, sector and market such as smoked salmon?
Yeah, so like you need to focus on the kind of quality, right? So industrial stuff has already been taken over by huge corporations. Like a lot of big companies don't want to focus on like the small niches of like the best olive oil. Maybe if your family, they make the best olive oil in Italy, and you're going to all these expos around the world, and no one wants to buy your olive oil because it's so overpriced from what is available by these big guys. Look, you need to go and look for people not at these trade shows, to find people who focus on, like, they love stuff about a story. So our family business
As a story,
is also has a story. So if your family business or whatever business you are trying to get into has a story, and they connect with a consumer that has the buying power or has the means to they purchase your product, you should start there. You shouldn't go and waste your money on these trade shows.
Okay.
That's my biggest
piece of advice.
biggest piece of
Your
advice. Yeah,
package for success is obviously quality is number one.
quality like is what people look for. And my father
A
said
story.
my
Number
father
two.
said that like kind of quality always pays off. It's the
Mhm.
most difficult route to go down, because when you make something of quality, it's normally expensive. You know, yeah, they try and sell a product which is the most expensive in the market is never easy.
100%.
You know, you don't see Rolls Royce everywhere,
Right.
except if you live in Dubai. But
Right,
like,
exactly.
you know what I mean. So it's always more difficult. But once you've driven or you've eaten something that is really 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 good,
They're manifesting that level.
you know, like you want it. Like
Yeah.
you can't go. For example,
Go back.
Like for example, if you've been having, I don't know, roller cola your whole life, and
Yeah.
then you try Coca-Cola, you're like, oh shit, I can't go back
Yeah,
to drinking
literally.
roller cola now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We have the same thing with our salmon. People have been so used to eating like a subpar quality smoked kind of smoked salmon, that when they come here and they try it and they go back to London or they go back to Paris and like,
Right.
oh my god, you spoiled me, man.
Right. I would totally agree with them. I've tried it on the wars where we met.
Yeah.
And ever since then, I was just taking your salmon in Super Mary. Not because I know you and we'll have it. It's genuinely good, and I love smoked salmon.
And it doesn't cost so much more.
It's fine.
It's like
fine.
pretty much the same price as
Exactly.
everyone else.
But it's the money you want to give, right?
It's
fish
that
in general.
It's that 2 dirhams
that
you know?
make a difference, though.
2 dirhams, which it should be 20 dirhams more.
Yeah.
But look, we want to make sure that it's available for everyone.
Right.
That's why we have all the different brands.
Now tell me, since you said you're 38 now, you've started it professionally when you were, let's say, 18. Would you say that your personal, let's say, definition of success has changed in 20 years?
100%, I would. So I would have never thought that I wanted more time. You know.
Okay.
Look, kind of when I was younger, there was like I don't have any spare time now. Which is crazy.
Okay.
This is something that I would love to work out how I can grow the kind of family business and keep going, but
Right.
we're making space where I have more time for, like, you know.
Would you say that this success has brought a personal cost to you when
Definitely
it comes to
there's-
family?
Definitely,
your
there's
own
a personal
time?
cost, and like people that kind of they kind of know me. Look, they definitely know that. Like, I was supposed to do a kind of knee surgery
Okay.
a couple of weeks ago, and I've postponed it till
After America.
after America. Now, when is after America?
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have no idea. The kind of it's not easy to start in the family when you don't have time. Look, also, and like, I put that on myself as like
And you're
an
always
individual.
gonna have that fear.
I've
of,
always
okay,
said that I'm not going to start in the family until I have time to be there. You know,
genuinely be there with
Yeah,
them.
so-
100%.
I'd say that's one sacrifice. You know,
Mhm.
but I'm still kind of young. I know, lost my hair, bit of a gut, but like I still have some time to
Of course.
get
And
things
you're a guy. I
sorted.
feel like men have more
Yeah.
time than women
Yeah,
for
yeah.
things like family later on.
100%. So,
Yeah.
but there's definitely that part.
And I mean, there's also this thing that money can't really buy happiness. And I always question, okay, why is there, especially the people that I interview, why is there so many successful people out there, that are loaded, that have built empires, and they just aren't satisfied. They aren't happy deep down. So my question for you would be, first of all, are you happy? Do you count yourself happy? And then what would you say is that inner light? What is that motivation in you?
I'd say that I am happy. I would say that I'd like to have a couple more holidays.
Okay.
And I would say that the kind of money, it does buy you look, and and
buys you
kind of
comfort, I guess.
it kind of buys you certain freedoms, right?
Yeah.
One of them is supposed to be comfort. But if you become a slave to the actual product of money, you can never be happy, because you need to make more of that product, which is look
Which
to
is
be happy,
impossible.
which
Yeah.
is removing your freedom, because you're always chasing that carrot of making more of that.
Yeah.
Whereas
Become a
me,
victim of your own,
to be
making.
like, oh fuck, I'm not happy because
Yeah.
I need to be making more money to be happy. And if I'm not, then people are not looking at me the same way,
Right. It's
Whereas me,
pressure.
it's the opposite. I don't really care
You seem very
about money.
relaxed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I really don't care. Like, as long as I can kind of live my kind look kind of lifestyle, and I don't have to be so worried. It's just, the money is a tool to grow my kind of businesses, and to make my team feel that they are comfortable and they have a place to grow,
Right.
and that the business is never going to be slowed down because lack of money. But on a personal level, I'm not someone who looks at how big my mountain is, and
Right.
even if it's a valley, I'm okay.
Right.
I'm not even scared of a valley.
Right. And I feel
So
like with time you will also potentially meet those people that you could have trust in to sometimes switch off and give them responsibility, to
I'm definitely more of a
something.
delegator than my father.
I
I can
can
switch
imagine.
off. I can definitely switch off. Like, okay, I have my certain
It's because your
things.
father has you at the end of the day, right?
Yeah, so I have the things I'll always take care of. Like, I buy the salmon every week. This is something that even when I'm on holiday, like, there's no one that
Does
steps
that.
on. Yeah, so certain things that I will never give up. But I like to empower my team.
It's important.
Yeah, I don't sit on their shoulders
You don't
kind of heavily,
micromanage them.
because I know that they can handle it. They've been doing it for years.
Great.
I kind of check in with them. They're always free to call me, So I like that style
Right.
of, like, kind of releasing some bags. I let them carry their own.
Right.
But, like, for example, going and opening the American market, I'm going there alone.
Right.
But I wouldn't be able to go do that if I wasn't confident that my
Team
team
back here is
could manage the restaurants, look at themselves. They can manage the factory themselves. Even, like, we're expanding now. They're taking care of all that.
right. And your father is here, or
My father's in the
he's
factory every day.
every day. Okay.
Yeah, he comes to the restaurant every day. He wakes up at 4 a.m. every
Great.
day.
Great. Next time we're gonna interview him.
Please,
We're
please
gonna
do.
bring him over.
Please do.
Alrighty. Well, since
but-
our interview is coming to an end, there's this last question that I always tend to ask my guests.
Okay.
If I could give you a time machine and you can go all the way back in time, what would you tell a younger version of yourself?
Oof. I go buy Bitcoin, first of all. Definitely go buy some of
Buy
that.
Bitcoin.
Yeah, that is something.
You were at an age where you could have bought it.
It's too difficult.
Really?
We tried, but it was
I
too
can't
difficult.
forgive myself, but I was like in middle school. I didn't even know what it was. So I was like, okay.
Yeah, no, like, I think a time machine to take me somewhere back in my life. My best times were when I was, like, part of the football team, like 10 years old, not a care in the world. You
Right.
just go do what you want with kind of your friends. Complete freedom,
Yeah,
no phones. I think we've become a slave to phones.
100%.
I know everyone says that, but, like, literally, like, oof, I love. It's not happened a lot, maybe twice, but when you lose your phone,
The
you get over
anxiety is incredible.
you get over the panic,
Yeah.
and then you chill for, like, a couple of days.
Right. It's a
know?
nice feeling.
Yeah.
I've traveled to Cuba. It was, I think, 2018.
Yeah.
And since they didn't have internet anywhere, I've genuinely, like, switched off completely from my phone for
Oh, when you don't have
it was 2
internet,
weeks.
exactly.
Yeah.
I love it when I don't have internet.
And
too.
it was incredible because I used to live in London at the time, and I came back and I placed away my iPhone and I bought one of those, cheap Nokias, and I
Yeah,
spent the next 2 months trying on
It's the
that cheap
best.
Nokia, and it was like the best 2 months of my life.
The best.
I felt refreshed. I had so many bright new ideas. I've had, like, the best, dissertation that I wrote. It was my final year of uni then. So many things have changed. A lot of people have left my life.
Circles become smaller.
100%.
Love me too. When like you
It kind of did
focus.
weird. Why
But
can't we reach you over message? Like, why do we need to call you?
so this
Uh,
is something like uh I think that like phones and things have given like look you give a lot of people way too much access, you know,
and now we're just abusing it
yeah,
at this
and
point.
like and you a lot of people abuse that access. Like you can't ever switch off. So
Right.
if you don't answer the phone, there's something wrong, you know.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong. You just don't
Let me
want to answer
be.
the phone today,
Yeah.
you know.
100%.
So yeah, you have to put yourself in in a kind of situation where you're explaining why you don't want to talk to people, and it makes them feel bad. So
Makes you feel comfortable. Yeah.
yeah, I'm like, come on, bro, I just wanna have a
A chill
2
day.
days. I want to walk my dog and look up and not having to look at the phone, or I'll be
100%.
like this, like
Definitely. And speaking about phones, I think we'd have a completely different podcast another time about that. But since we are coming to an end, I have two audience questions for you that came through.
by phone.
Yes, by phone, through social media, through our beautiful Instagram. So there's a guy called John. Hi, Jason. Heard about your dad's company through a family friend. Wanted to ask you for advice on what should people look for when buying salmon on a market.
On a market, as in like a fish market.
Yeah, I guess.
So that's for fresh salmon. Yes. So you
Yes,
have
texture and color is what you need to look at.
yeah. So you have the fish market down next to Dira. You need to look for, first of all, you need to smell it. This is number one, right? You need
There's
to make
so
sure.
many fish smells there, though. How?
Yeah, and they're kind of difficult. The best thing to do is buy it from my online shop, shop.livingwild.co, and you know it's the freshest. So there you go, John. You can
You can do
buy
that,
from my
John.
look,
Do.
and we'll take care of you.
Or go to the market and smell it, but I don't think
So
that's
I'll go to
gonna.
the market and start smelling fish. It's up to you, whichever one you want.
Right. Number two is from Emily. Hi, Jason. My name is Emily. In your opinion, what is the biggest challenge salmon is currently facing in the industry?
Yeah. So it's become a very good alternative to eating meat. So
Okay.
the supply's gone up, which has had an effect on the price. So I'd say the increase of price is a concern for people, but look, kind of salmon, they need to grow for 3 years, so it takes time to grow. So I'd say look, getting the right amount of supply
Okay.
is the
How
biggest
long is a
concern.
salmon's life?
3 years.
Okay.
Whereas the wild salmon, they can grow up to 8 years, where they'll live in next to Greenland.
Okay. But for us, the perfect age is
3 years.
3 for
Yeah.
food.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyways, Jason, absolute
Thank you.
pleasure having you today. Thank you so
Amazing.
much for coming. I'm looking forward for that tour, and best of luck in the United States.
Thank you, darling. Thank you. Thank you so much. Cheers.
Alrighty, thank you, Salmon King, for sharing your incredible insights and experiences with us today. And it's clear that Basilico is not only dedicated to producing high quality smoked salmon, but also to fostering a legacy of innovation in the salmon industry. And thank you to all of our listeners for tuning into Paradigm. Be sure to check out Basilico and Le Fumoir by Joe Basili. Did I say that
Bravo,
correctly?
Yeah. You
And
got it.
yeah, until next time, you know the drill. Keep innovating, keep evolving, and keep reshaping the future. With you, it was Mina Vucic.